Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is the City Council meeting, regular meeting on Thursday, February 19th, 1 o'clock. And this is the Library Board, Housing Authority Board, and the City Council representing the Redevelopment Successor Agency. And as I said, this is our regular meeting. So, we're going to start off by having Steve Quintanilla lead us in the flag salute.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. And now Cindy Scott will be doing our roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem Hobart.
Here.
Councilmember Kite.
Here.
Councilmember Townsend.
Here.
Councilmember Weil.
Here.
And Mayor Smotrich.
Here. Okay, we're going to be having a little bit of a change in our agenda today, and so we will start with a presentation to Tom Oswald of the Historic Preservation Commission, and if Tom will come down in front, I believe we have a little certificate for you. Well, good afternoon, and welcome to come before us, and so we can appraise you for all the work you've done. So, that's okay. It's all right. I do that all the time. Anyway, thank you. We wanted to see the front of you so everyone can enjoy your true beauty. We'll let you hold this, and this is a certificate of recognition, and it is presented to Thomas H. Oswald, and it is for 12 years of service on the Rancho Mirage Historic Preservation Commission in recognition and appreciation for your outstanding work and dedicated to the city of Rancho Mirage. Presented this 19th day of February 2015. And it's signed by me, Iris M. Smotrich, and we are so thrilled that you are here to accept this. We are so sad that you are going to be leaving the commission because you were such a vital part of everything they did. But we know you're moving on to bigger and better stuff. Okay, all right. If it's okay, I'd love to have my picture taken with you. Let me take off my glasses so we don't have a reflection. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
A few words? Just a few
Okay,
minutes.
I'll say a few.
Okay, so we'll face forward.
All right, I was going to face the council
Well,
because
then-
I know them all.
Well, then that's good.
But and the way I got started here 30 years ago, well, I've been here 35 years ago, but 30 years ago, I met Alan Seaman, and we became friends, and he got me politically involved in the council. For a while, I even thought of running, but fortunately didn't. I know every one of you, and I really feel that you're all friends. And that says something to me that the people running Rancho Mirage are my friends, and I appreciate it. And I've been behind everybody's election that's sitting up here, and several others in the past. So I want to thank you for this recognition and wish you all well. I know that the city is in good hands with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And you've been a gift to us. So we wish you all the very best, and I hope you'll come back and visit us on many occasions. Good. All right, thank you. Okay, now we will be moving on to the introduction of the Speaker Series Commission. And if they would all come forward with their staff liaison, Johnny Alme. I will just say a few words in regard to what they do as their job. The Speaker Series Commission is, the general purpose for them is to plan and support the ongoing successful annual presentation of the Rancho Mirage Speaker Series program. This includes serving in an advisory capacity to the City Council on ways to enhance cultural awareness and identification in and of the City of Rancho Mirage through Speaker Series events. They typically meet the third Tuesday of each month at 2 o'clock at City Hall, and we welcome you all, and we're glad to recognize you for all the work you do. Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. As the staff liaison to the Speaker Series Commission, I am privileged to, present to you our Speaker Series Commission. First of all, we have Chair Ron Sherrill. He practiced law in Baltimore, Maryland for 35 years and is the author of 10 published books. In addition to chairing the Rancho Mirage Speaker Series Commission, he is the Vice President of the Versailles HOA Board of Directors. His wife, Beth Ellen Fromm, is also active in community affairs. Our Vice Chairman is Nick Procaccino, and he is the longest-serving member of the Commission, having served 7 years. His background of dual careers in education and theater has taken him from adjunct professor of theater at Rider University to founder of Stage One Productions in Princeton, New Jersey. Then we have Commissioner Charlie Barrett. He comes to us after a long career with the NBC Television Network's Tonight Show, where he was NBC's media spokesman for the legendary late-night TV show, as well as the network's personal publicist to Johnny Carson. A native of Connecticut, Charlie began his media career as a news writer for Hartford Times and Associated Press in New Haven, Connecticut. And he is married to Barbara Wall Barrett. Commissioner Mel Haber has owned and operated the Ingleside Inn and Melvin's Restaurant for the past 39 years. Mel served 31 years on the board of Angel View, the last 20 as president. Mel has joined the board of Save House of the Desert. And Commissioner Lynn Mulatto. She is a 30-year resident of Rancho Mirage and the CEO president of Cathedral City Chamber of Commerce. Ms. Mulatto has served on several boards, including the Barbara Sinatra Children's Center. A community supporter at heart, Lynn worked for the City of Cathedral City in public relations and as the Deputy City Clerk, retiring in 2012. On behalf of the City of Rancho Mirage, thank you all for your service with the City of Rancho Mirage.
Thank you, Commissioners. And what a beautiful picture that made. Thank you. Okay, next we're going to be moving on to a presentation by Paula Simons of the Desert Cancer Foundation. Welcome, Paula. And just speak into the microphone.
Good afternoon, council members and guests and city staff. I am Paula Simons. I am the Executive Director of Desert Cancer Foundation. And on behalf of our Desert Cancer Foundation board, staff, and the clients we serve, I want to thank the City of Rancho Mirage for the generous contribution of our 2014-2015 grant in the amount of $4,500. This funding amount allows us to provide services to the Rancho Mirage residents that submit applications to Desert Cancer Foundation to help support the midst of their cancer care and treatment costs. In 2014, we were able to provide 5 Rancho Mirage residents with costs. The value was $160,000, and we paid $13,473.93. And that helps because of the great support that we have from our local medical community. We're able to navigate our system and get our maximize our funding dollars that you support us with. Since Desert Cancer Foundation was founded in 1995 by Dr. Sebastian George and Art and Corey Teichner, we've been able to provide a service. The value, again, would have, as of 2014, was valued at $56.5 million, and we've paid out $8 million of that cost. Each application that we receive is reviewed by a patient assistance committee that's comprised of a medical team, our board members, and our staff, and the local social workers in the hospital setting. This allows us, again, to provide service where we can navigate our clients to maybe some public or private funded programs, and that better helps maximize the funding dollars, again, of which we're receiving. With the onset of the Affordable Care Act, there's been the discussion that maybe some of our services would, maybe be lowered. And I can tell you, as of 2013, we had 127 clients serving across the valley. And in 2014, we had 184 client applications received. So that goes to show that there are those that are getting insurance, but they're still not being able to afford the cost of insurance premiums or copays or insurance that might come alongside of being faced with a life event such as the diagnosis of cancer. We also help supplement Medicare Part B. That would be a cost of 20% of chemotherapy that potentially a patient might not be able to cover. And imagine that, being on a fixed income and being told that you needed to maybe pay $700 worth of your chemotherapy. So again, we're so thankful for your support of these funding dollars, because it really does take a team to support those in need, and we're so thankful that you're part of our team. So, thank you.
Thank you so much, Paula. And we are so proud to be part of your team. It's a worthy cause, and we're just so pleased that we can all participate. Okay, moving on to a presentation by Mitch Gershenfeld, who is the president and CEO of the McCallum Theater. Welcome, Mitch. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. I'm very happy to be here to thank the City of Rancho Mirage for its 13 years of continuous support of the McCallum Theater. You know, I was in this chamber in 2002 when President Ford came and stood before the council, and I remember how he put it very succinctly. He said, "My name's Jerry Ford, and I think you ought to give the theater some money." And the mayor at the time said to President Ford, "Well, Mr. President, how can we say no to you?" And President Ford answered, "That's right." And we're very, very happy that for the past 13 years we have had the support of the City of Rancho Mirage. The McCallum Theater is the home to over 200 events every season, and we serve over 200,000 patrons. In the first quarter of 2014, the McCallum Theater was listed by Pollstar magazine as the #1 selling theater in California. Sold more tickets than any other theater in the state, most of the theaters being much larger than McCallum. And that's the 6th consecutive year that we ended first quarter as the #1 selling theater in California. We are a nonprofit organization, and we raise over $5 million a year because ticket sales really only cover 60% of the cost of operating the McCallum Theater. And Rancho Mirage has been very generous with the McCallum, providing funding totaling $630,000 over the past 13 years. And this support has not only helped bring cultural and entertainment presentations to thousands of residents of Rancho Mirage, we've presented 29 special programs that were City of Rancho Mirage sponsored programs, and in those programs we discount tickets to Rancho Mirage residents. Over 5,000 residents have taken advantage of the discount program. We also provide hundreds of complimentary tickets every year, and many of those go to some of the less advantaged residents of Rancho Mirage. Most recently, we provided tickets to the performance of the Rodney Marsalis Brass Ensemble. That was this past week. And our education program, the McCallum Theater Institute, serves over 70% of the school children in the Coachella Valley. And that includes Rancho Mirage Elementary School, which has been one of our key partner schools since 2007. We're in every 1st through 5th grade classroom, and we serve over 450 students in that program. And this year, our teaching artists are in the schools providing over 120 hours of classroom teaching. We also serve the Marywood and Palm Valley School through our field trip series, bringing students to the McCallum Theater for free educational programs. And the McCallum Theater Institute has also been exploring ways to partner with Rancho Mirage High School. Last year, we provided a full-day professional development workshop for the entire faculty, and this allowed individual members of the faculty to get to know each other and engage with the artistic works that we were presenting, including The Margin by Backhouse Dance and select paintings by Pablo Picasso. They also got to explore active collaboration and tap into their own creativity. And as a result of this workshop, a number of the teachers opted to come into a unit of study on the dance work, The Margin, which toured in 2014. And 90 students took workshops with MTI, and over 200 students from the high school attended the performance last season. These are some of the many things that the McCallum does in the community, and the many things that are supported by the City of Rancho Mirage, for which we are very, very grateful. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees, our staff, and our patrons, I want to thank the City of Rancho Mirage for its ongoing support of the McCallum Theater. Thank you.
And thank you, Mitch. Any questions or comments? Okay, well, I only have one comment, and that is that for all the ladies out there watching this who are not familiar with the Muses, which is a tremendous fundraising arm for the McCallum Theater, and they provide musical programs and musical outreaches to all the different schools and all the children. It's such a wonderful, enriching experience for these children that would not otherwise have the opportunity to have these musical experiences. So if you're interested in becoming a muse, please don't hesitate to call the McCallum Theater and they can help you out. Thank you again, Mitch. Okay, moving on now to the presentation of a proclamation, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce Tom Snyder of the Animal Samaritans. And this is a very special presentation because it is honoring official World Spay Day. So if you'll come down in front.
What's the slogan, Tom? Is it hey, hey, Spay Day?
Hey, hey, don't forget today, Spay Day USA. Just made that up.
Welcome. If I can just come around on this side of you and bring you a bit more to the center here. This is your proclamation, and I will read it. This is honoring World Spay Day. Whereas pets provide companionship to 68% of U.S. households, and whereas nearly 3 million healthy and adoptable cats and dogs are put down in animal shelters each year due to a lack of critical resources and public awareness, and whereas nearly 90% of pets living in poverty and 98% of community feral and stray cats are unaltered, and whereas spaying and neutering has been shown to dramatically reduce the number of animals who are put down in animal shelters, and whereas programs exist in Rancho Mirage, California, to assist residents with the cost of spaying or neutering pets, and whereas veterinarians, national and local, animal protection organizations, and private citizens have joined together again to advocate the spaying or neutering of pets and community cats on World Spay Day 2015. Now, therefore, be resolved that on behalf of the entire City Council of Rancho Mirage, we do hereby designate and observe February 24th, 2015 as World Spay Day in the City of Rancho Mirage. And it is witnessed by me, Iris M. Smotrich. So we are very proud that we have organizations like this and that we have people who are so active in our community making sure that these pets and animals that really depend on us can continue to do so. So if you'd like to say a few words, I know we have a little bit of a PowerPoint presentation. I believe we already also have two people that are fine staff members from our code compliance department, and they take a very active role in making sure that all of our pets are treated humanely, and doing our best to make sure that Rancho Mirage takes care of as much as we can. So let me give you this, and we'll continue.
I hear the music for the PowerPoint slide. Mayor, council members, I'm honored to accept this proclamation on behalf of Animal Samaritans. Thank you so much. Thank you for bringing the attention of the importance of spaying and neutering our pets. It is the most effective way to reduce the number of homeless animals, the euthanasia rates in public shelters. So it's a really important day for the animals. And should I wait for the slide? Okay. And I'm going to keep quiet because it speaks for itself. Thank you for giving us those 2 minutes of your time. Again, just to summarize, Animal Samaritans is honored to accept this proclamation. I want to introduce Deborah Godley. She's one of our ACE volunteers. She is a highway hero, and that means she transports the at-risk adoptable animals that we pull from the public shelters, mostly the Pound, the county shelter, to safe havens. Sometimes she drives to the airport, sometimes she drives to Blythe, sometimes San Diego. We have a network of over 100 rescue groups that we work with throughout the U.S. and Canada. And volunteers like Deborah make it all possible. If anybody's interested in becoming a volunteer with Animal Samaritans, we can always use the help. And Cookie is here to sort of be a model for the amalgamation of all the homeless dogs in our desert. We have so many Chihuahuas and Terriers. She's available for adoption, by the way. She's very sweet. Thank you so much, Mayor, council members.
Thank you so much. Okay, now it is our pleasure to introduce Mike Dowry and Sandra Johnson, two very important people in our city.
Sorry. Thank you, Mayor Smotrich, council, staff, and residents of Rancho Mirage. I am very proud to present today the first phase of our proposed disaster preparedness plan for animals. But first, I'd like to touch a little bit on how we came to this plan. It all started by a review of our current county contract, and also in discussing with our new involvement with our Emergency Preparedness Commission, that we found a need for a higher level of emergency preparedness for animals. The issue that we found was that commingling with humans and animals during a disaster situation is impractical. We needed to find a way where we could put a shelter close to other FEMA or Red Cross shelters already put up during the disaster, so that their owners could be in close proximity to their pets. What we found was that the goal was really just to identify first the pets, and to then reduce the amount of lost or unidentifiable pets or injured pets. And in doing so, what we found is sorry, hold on a second. Right. But what we found is that the ID was the first thing that we really needed to start with. We needed to find a way where we could tag all of these pets and have a central database where we could pull any information like microchip data or licensing information that the county provides on tags right here at City Hall. And also with that, create a card that each homeowner or pet owner could have with that data on it. And with that, I'll give you Sandra Johnson.
Thanks, Mike. Good afternoon, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council, Randy and staff, City Manager. What we're bringing to you today, as Mike indicated, is phase one. What we recognized was a way to kind of jumpstart our disaster preparedness for animals was to create identification cards and a database, so that in the case of an emergency, the first thing you want to do is reunification. So if we can identify a pet that's picked up and connected with its owner, then problem solved for the owner as well as the pet. So what we noticed is that FEMA, one of their recommendations in the planning stage for pet disaster preparedness is create a picture or have a picture of you and your pet. So we moved forward in creating this form. Initially we were going to attach it to our animal licensing program, but that information is specific to the county. So this is a volunteer program that residents can take advantage of, and the form will allow you to fill out information. And on that information, you can, on this form, you can also download a picture. And I'll go through a really brief tutorial of how you do that online. So first you'll access the city website. On the left side there will be a link for code compliance and animal services. The second page will take you to the actual link for the form itself. It's on the lower portion of your screen. I apologize, the distortion is, you can't really see the words, but it's the second line from the bottom on this page here. And from there, the form will pop up. You can fill this form out online, and at the bottom portion of the form is a submit button. That's similar to the way we do our PRAs, which is our public request forms. So the resident can fill out the form, and it has the ability to upload a photo right onto the form. That form then will be emailed directly to us, where we'll create our database for the information for the pet owner as well as the pet. The second phase of our disaster preparedness for animals will be our outreach, and we'll be proud to launch this program during the town hall meeting of Race to Be Ready. During that time, we'll have a speaker from Animal Samaritans that will give a 30-minute presentation on how to prepare your pet during a disaster, as well as some simple first aid things that you can do to administer for your pet before you in lieu of getting emergency care right away. During this event, we'll have the printer ready to go. It is on order, and at that time we'll be able to issue these ID cards to our residents during the Race to Be Ready, which is really, really great. We're excited about that. Phase 3 would be the last part of our disaster program, which is ultimately trying to secure some materials to set up a temporary shelter, as Mike indicated, in case of emergency, that's in close proximity to the actual Red Cross facilities for the pet owners themselves. We'll be looking at getting a trailer that we can erect temporary fencing. We'll have water and food supplies similar to the one that we have now for our residents. And with that, this is what the card will look like. We do have a prototype with us today, and I brought just enough for all of council, including our city manager today, so that you can take these home and take a look at them. Councilman Hobart, we wanted to use you, but we couldn't find a picture of you and your pet. We wanted to give you a moment to kind of shine, but so in lieu of that, we'd love to for the council to come and talk to us, and let's set up something so we can get you one of these cards right away for you and your pet. And with that, we're available for any questions, and I apologize. Let me first thank Mayor Smotrich, Councilman Hobart, and Cyan Prudian from the Emergency Preparedness Commission for their support in this program and really assisting us in recognizing the needs for our residents as it pertains to animals as well as our residents. And Britt, I think Britt's in the audience. He is from the Emergency Preparedness. He opened up that conversation for us, so we're very appreciative of the Emergency Preparedness and their thinking outside of the box as they have with Race to Be Ready to get top-notch programs for our residents. Any questions? ARF. You know, that was going to be the name of the card, which was Animal Registration Form, but we decided to go with ARC, so that may be a second contender if you guys decide to change it. All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. Well, as we can see, the City of Rancho Mirage is certainly stepping up to the plate when it comes to protecting our animals and making it easier in a disaster for animals and their owners to be reunited. Thank you again, everyone that participated, and now we will move on to the presentation of the fourth quarter status report from Ken Stevens with Burtech regarding the waste and recycling. Welcome, Ken.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure seeing you, too, getting these little updates.
Good afternoon. Ken Stevens with Burtech, here with the fourth quarter status report for 2014. You might remember my job is to work with businesses, residents, and city staff in an effort to divert material from the landfill. Now I'm going to cover our accomplishments and activities, or my accomplishments and activities for the fourth quarter. I worked with about 10 golf courses on diverting their green waste from landfilling during the overseeding season. Some chose to have us haul the material to compost. Others used a gradual low-cut method, allowing the clippings to stay on the course and decompose naturally. But in either case, it was still diversion. I worked with the Ritz-Carlton manager, Ray Layerly, on how to help his staff become more recycle savvy. We noticed that there were a lot of contaminants in the recycle bin just few short months ago, and what we did is we went by and met with some of his staff to let them know what was recyclable, what was not, and at the same time we put better, clearer labels on the bins so that the staff could recognize right off the bat which bin was for recyclable and which was for trash. Currently working with the river management to organize a meeting among the restaurants to get them on board and to gain stronger participation in the food waste program. The meeting should occur sometime in March. I established baled cardboard pickup with both the Ritz-Carlton and the Thunderbird Country Club, so that's all being diverted. Completed the fall waste characterizations. 80 random samples were taken from commercial and residential recycling loads and analyzed for contamination. The results are included in the January semi-annual report. The purpose of this is to kind of look at these studies over the course of maybe a year and to try to determine where our contamination is coming from by looking at other types of evidence within the load. Worked with the city and Randy Vegas on the tire collection process at the city yard. City Yard. Contacted about 70 HOAs offering recycle presentations. Super Bowl Sunday, I gave a presentation to the residents of the colony. Not sure why we did it on Super Bowl Sunday, but we did. And still about 40 residents turned out. They were asking very good questions. Typically at these kind of presentations, the questions I get from residents are mostly about what's recyclable and what's not. The big concern this time around, interestingly enough, was identity theft. Unfortunately, just the day before, we'd had a shred event and e-waste event at the library. But fortunately, they were aware once I told them that we had another event coming up in May, so they were happy about that. While I was there, I passed out the new recycling wheel that I brought for everybody here the last time I was here. They seemed to like that. They liked having the update. In early December, we sent out a postcard to residents reminding them how to recycle their Christmas trees through us. Just, letting them know how to break it down and when to put it out. And during the course of that last quarter, I worked on monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, biennial, and annual reports, most of which are done and submitted. We had them all in by the due date. And then finally, the multifamily residential recycling remains steady at about 83%, and the commercial recycling went from 93 to 94% compliance. Any questions?
No questions from other members? Okay, I have a question.
Sure.
And it's been the topic of discussion many times at different meals with people saying, is styrofoam recyclable? Very often the containers will have the little triangle on the bottom, and people hear a variety of different opinions as to whether or not that's something they should put in their trash or in their recycle bin. Maybe you could help us out with that.
Okay, styrofoam serviceware, the plates and cups and things like that, unfortunately, once they're soiled, they're not recyclable. As of last year, we began taking the block styrofoam, the packing styrofoam that you get when you buy something electronic, and as long as it's clean and it's that type of styrofoam, we can take it in the recycling container.
Okay, so if somebody brings something home as a food container, use the food, wash out the container, is that going to be recyclable?
No, unfortunately not, because a lot of times in the food containers, especially nowadays, there's a variety of materials in there. It's not the same type of styrofoam that you get in packing blocks, and at that point, a lot of the foam has absorbed some of the food too as well. So even though it's rinsed out, it may not be completely clean.
Okay, thank you. That does answer the question. So for all of us that thought we were doing a really good deed by rinsing out our containers, we know
effort.
now that we don't have to do that.
Right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Dana,
Thanks.
did you have a question? Okay. Thank you, Ken. I think we're all set. Okay, so without further ado, I would like to introduce our Mayor Pro Tem, Dana Hobart, who has a little bit of something he wants to share with us. And he is walking down in front and picking up a microphone. So here we go.
This microphone?
That's it.
At our last meeting, we had the great pleasure of honoring Larry Nichols, and for a lot of reasons, Larry was honored. At that meeting, I wasn't able to discuss some of the things that I wanted to say about Larry because I didn't have the prop that I needed. I've got the prop now, and Larry, if you'd walk up here using both your legs.
Another Larry Nichols Day.
Right, almost. The one thing I did mention was that he had a double eagle on 16 on the die course at Mission Hills. Nobody else has ever done that. Right, there's somebody who knows how tough that is. I appointed Larry to the Mobile Home Parks Commission in 2002, just after I first got elected. Larry had been very, very, very helpful in securing that win for me, and I certainly wanted to bring his talents to the city in general. Larry had every right to be appointed to the Planning Commission, in my view, and I know that he preferred going on the Planning Commission without having thought things through. But one day we were talking, before that occurred, we talked about the mobile home park residents, and that we had learned during the course of the campaign that there were an awful lot of problems inside of some of those parks, and that working to benefit the mobile home park residents was something that had a high priority for both Larry and me, and we agreed that Larry would take that position instead of on the Planning Commission. And Larry worked for 12 years, 12 full years, doing everything he could to be a liaison to the City Council for solving the various problems that required council intervention. Larry solved many. He and I talked about many. We laid out plans to do all sorts of things and accomplish them. Nobody could have been more dedicated to accomplishing the tasks that we had. And because of that, I wanted to have something to give you. But as it turned out, it wasn't available, and it still isn't technically available. About 6 months ago, I went to Randy Binder, and I said, Randy, I've got an idea that I'd like to see how you feel about it. I think we should have a key to the city. I had a copy of a key to the city for the city of Los Angeles. And so Randy and I looked at it, and after a few days, Randy sketched out a few things, and we made a couple of little changes, and we finally agreed on the key to the city. Our order is still not here, but we do have 2 prototypes. And it is going to give me an immense amount of pleasure, first to show you what the key to the city looks like. Some of you probably haven't seen this either. And what I wanted to do, in appreciation for all the things you've done for the city, Larry, is I wanted you to be the first person in Rancho Mirage history to receive the official key to the city. And I give it to you with my love and deepest respect.
I could get used to this, but I shouldn't. Yes, Dana appointed me to the Mobile Home Fair Practice Act, and I did enjoy working all those years with our residents in the parks. And the gentleman sitting behind me here, Dana made sure that he attended every meeting, and there he is, Steve Quintanilla. He would say, Larry, you can't do that. Larry, you can't say that. No, Larry, you wouldn't do this. So he kept me in line, but, you know, I said it last time, and I'll say it again. Rancho Mirage, if you had a choice in the world to live, this should be the place you'd pick. And these people behind me here are just unbelievable servants of this city, and it's an honor. I'll treasure this as I do my proclamation. And thanks again. I don't know what else I can say, but thank you.
What I'd like to do is have you go down there by Cindy. Let me pass this down so everybody has a chance to see it before you take it away, because this is our only nice. And then just pass it along.
Thank you, Dana.
We should have them any day or within a week or some period of time, shouldn't we, Randy?
4 to 6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks still.
Is this going to be a tradition, Dana, that we will have this for other distinguished residents?
Special situations, not every situation, but special situations.
Good. Wonderful idea.
Sure. We'll take a picture. Huh?
Wow. Yes, this is absolutely beautiful.
Isn't that
Wow.
nice?
It's beautiful.
Randy is the 99% designer of it.
Well, thank you so much, Randy.
But we haven't paid the bill yet, so.
Okay.
Right, Sylvia?
Well, we don't give these keys out to our city very, very often, and it's a special person that they're given to. And Larry is certainly a special person. Thank you both. Another Larry Nichols experience. Okay. Well, yes.
I told Larry the other day that every day Larry wakes up and finds his beautiful wife next to him, Deanna. It's Larry Nichols Day.
Yeah.
That is very true. Absolutely.
Yes. And for all of us that know Deanne, we're certainly in agreement. She's a very special lady also. And we're all very proud to call her friend. Anyway, moving on. We will go next to the non-agenda public comments. So, this is an opportunity for the public to speak on issues that are not on the agenda for a maximum of 3 minutes per speaker. And if you have not filled out a yellow card to turn in to our city clerk, not a problem. You can always just come forward when there's an opportunity. And we have 2 cards so far. So, the first person to speak will be Carol Leibowitz. And Carol, if you have not met her before, is the chairperson of our Historic Preservation Commission, and of which Tom Otzwald, who was honored today, is also a part. So welcome, Carol.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here again. I would like to honor Tom. It's a very deserving recognition of all his service. Tom was at the very first Historic Preservation meeting in September of 2003. And he has been until the present moment. Tom is sort of like mid-century modernism. I'd like to compare 2 characteristics of mid-century modernism with Tom. The first is lack of ornamentation. In mid-century modernism, there's no decorative moldings. It's clean aesthetic. With Tom, you don't get any trying to dress or speak to impress people. He says what he believes. And he gives good counsel to all of us on the Historic Preservation Commission, and has over the years. The second characteristic is emphasis on honesty of materials. In mid-century modernism, most likely you will see wood that is stained and not painted. Tom is honest in his presentations. He owned the Marantz residence. Marantz was the owner of the Tasty Freeze, who bought a house and had it built by Van Paulsen. It's one of these 3-star homes. You might call it a gold wing house, and it was designated by the council as a historic research. When Tom went to sell the house, he told me recently that he could have gotten more money, but the people who offered him the most money had in mind that they were going to destroy it. So he sold it for less money to someone else. This is Tom in his appreciation for historic resources in Rancho Mirage. Tom is leaving his beloved Rancho Mirage with all of its mid-century environment and moving north to be with his family. His dedication to historic preservation will still be seen as clearly as the large glass expanses of mid-century modernist homes. Thank you, Tom, for your help and all of your service over 12 years.
And thank you, Carol, for all your kind words in recognition of Tom. It's always a pleasure to hear some of the fine details that most of us are not aware of. So we thank you again. And the next speaker is a Mr. David J. Giacomuzzi. And thank you. Welcome, and if you could please state where your residence is.
Yes, good afternoon, Mayor and City Council members. My name is David Giacomuzzi. I live at 70200 Thunder Road in Thunderbird Heights community. Not to digress or regress, this is not about to preach or admonish or lecture anyone. I can ad-lib, I'm an actor locally. I am reluctant and honored to be here, and welcome to residents and guests. I would like to share a bit of ground I have covered with you in our city today. My lifelong career is 35 years of being a professional and 20 years in accolades now. These are all the names in all the career aspects of my life. I have been a community activist most of my life, as an all-encompassing brand of activist for 35 years. When we start to lose sense of community, we lose community. We have all lost. A pillar of society, culture, and community, we are. Being entertainment and media locally, and just having interviewed as the first cable-ready of your Valley TV talk show host. This is David Laporta speaking. We walk one with humanity, not only as a humanitarian, an historian in life. It is time to make considerations for others that have been a bigger part of community. Our first proposal to the city and to the council is for a proclamation in honor of Bob Gadini, a Bob Gadini Safe Streets Day by the city. The research we did on having a memorial was not supported by a property owner or the city to have a place for a memorial in Bob Gadini's honor. So we decided it is the city's duty to do so. To remember community and people with the proclamation. I am here with the strongest power of my own conviction to rise above the serious crimes in our cities and communities. I'm a 20-year crime fighter. Those of hit-and-run accidents of over 3,000 deaths valley-wide. I am here to rise above the high DUI on our city streets. I have cleaned up liquor bottles hurled from vehicles onto our city streets and walkways for over a year now. I have resided in Rancho Mirage now for 3 years, living in the Valley 15 years, to traveling to the Valley for over 35 years, and being a Californian for over 35 years. Not only have we been an outstanding citizen, helping others, we have 20 years of supporting policing, city policing background in many other aspects in community. I Love a Clean Rancho Mirage Day is another effort that I would like to see the city and propose a proclamation. And for our efforts of cleaning our city of serious debris and litter by litterers and polluters of our city over a year now. We also cleaned up litter and debris from City Hall to the library before President Obama's visit. As a historian, we ran for president in 2004 in the Valley here.
Okay, Mr. Giacomuzzi, could you kind of
Yes, I'm closing up here. We greeted the president on his last 2 visits. We had to contact proper authorities of a large government drone in pursuit of a low-flying small private jet, both low-flying over our home, and we heard the recent reports in the media and mentioning about drones. The government defended its position of the use of drones, claiming it's necessary for national security. I beg to differ of such activity over residential areas, including the increased aircraft and noise. We believe the ACLU and the Civil Liberties Union will continue to fight on the drone issues today. I believe we can turn events around with crimes in our city to be counterproductive in making our city one that believes in its people first, with making public safety for our city, community, and residents come first. Thank you, Mayor and Council, your careful consideration to making our 2 proposals proclamations. Thank you, Mr. Kite, for greeting us last time, and to Clayton Mays and Director Robert Barrett, Tom Norton, Executive Director of Palm Springs International Airport, and Jeremy Gleim of the Planning Department. And thank you. And I wanted to share, and I enjoy this very much, the local flavor that we are in the Rancho Mirage magazine, and a portrait of friendship. I'm sure you must read this. This is an absolutely wonderful story.
We did, and thank you so much. And we wish you a good day, and thank you for your efforts.
Yes, same here, and that's my intent. I've been working on these issues in community for a very long time.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, the next person in line to speak is Robert Griffith.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor, gentlemen of the council. My name is Bob Griffith. I'm the president of the La Toscana Homeowners Association. La Toscana is located on Gerald Ford, right near the Mission Hills Country Club. At a recent homeowners meeting, I had a significant amount of homeowners come to our meeting complaining about the commercial air traffic noise. I'm a commercial pilot myself. I fly out of Palm Springs, have for 30 years. And I've started observing what's going on. And there are published procedures for flying into Palm Springs and for departing. And I'm thinking what's happening is that the pilots for the commercial airlines are taking shortcuts. And I think our tower folks, who I'm going to see tomorrow, are given that leeway. Basically what's happening is Alaska Airlines comes from San Francisco, runs down Highway 10, makes a big right-hand turn and comes right over the top of Rancho Mirage, where normally the traffic should be following Highway 111. Same thing's true for the takeoffs. Published takeoffs are, lift off, make a left-hand turn, and avoid the residential area. So what I'm here for is a couple of things. One, is the city aware of this? Are you hearing other complaints of this type? And is there anything that the city can do to help us, either with the FAA or with the control towers or whatever it is we're going to do? Because we are going to file a complaint with the FAA. We are going to meet with the tower people. And that's about the extent that we can do. So I don't know, we're soliciting any help or assistance that you can give us.
Well, we do have a new appointee to the Airport Commission, and we'd be happy to talk to them about it so they can bring our concerns to them.
Is there an opportunity where we may be able to talk to that individual and
Absolutely.
Find out what they're doing? Or who would I contact?
You can actually
Mr. Binder, should I talk?
Give me a call and I'll give you the information.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your time.
The Palm Springs Airport also has a commission, which he is referring to, and they hear complaints about noise.
Wow, it's been pretty rough.
Yeah, but we can get them together with our Airport Commission representative.
All right. Next steps would be what? Do I contact you, Stephen?
Randy
Well,
Binder.
we-
Oh, Randy.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Binder. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Madam.
Thank you so much, Mr. Griffith. Okay. Okay, are there any other speakers that wish to come forward? Okay, seeing none, we will close the public comment portion of our meeting and move on to the City Council member board meeting. City Council member comments. Is there anyone that wishes to make comment about anything? Okay.
After you.
Okay.
I thought everybody was being bashful.
Oh, you think so, huh? Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just want to briefly highlight the exciting evening last night that Randy and I had going to Rancho Mirage High School. Last night they played their first playoff game and won their 20th game for the year. They're now 20-8. They had a victory of 81-56, big 25-point win over Banning, who was their first level of playoffs. When you look at the team, they did an outstanding job of playing last night. This team, of course, has no seniors on it, and it had 3 starting freshmen. So it was a great effort by all of them. They were down a little bit in the first quarter, and they came back and they had 27 points scored in the second quarter. So they pulled out ahead of Banning and went on to win. Great turnout from the local residents there. Rancho Mirage moves on to the second level of playoffs on Friday, and they'll be going up and playing Harvard of Westlake. So that'll be a great game for them to play too. But it's amazing to see the growth of our students in the athletic fields that they're in, because it was just not basketball, but they're also excelling in many other sports and have gone into the playoffs this year. So congratulations, Rattlers, and we hope that they'll come back Friday with a win, and I think then the following week they'll have another home game. So if you haven't been out to the gymnasium and experienced the basketball fever that's out there, it's really a great place to be. So Randy, next week we'll be out there again and rooting them in.
And even if it's 80 degrees, you're going to wear your Letterman's jacket again,
You
right?
better believe it.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you so much. And can you imagine what things are going to be like when we have a few seniors on the team? Wowee. It'll be far more exciting for the whole team and for us up here. So thank you. All right, Dana, you had something?
Well, I don't think that Lynn is still here from Loving All Animals. She did have a pet. I do want to encourage adoption. Let me comment, however, on Tom Snyder's remarks about spay and neutering. The adoption issue would be significantly easier if those of you who have dogs right now, males that are not neutered and females that are not spayed, to take advantage of the program that Animal Samaritans offers for extremely low-cost neutering and spaying. And the city participates, by the way, in your cost on that, so it costs you nothing to have your animals spayed or neutered. It is the single most important tool in fighting the deluge of homeless animals that require adoption in the first place. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Madam Mayor, I will say something.
All right.
Last night I had the pleasure of going to the library where the Cultural Commission, in conjunction with the library, put on the play Give 'Em Hell, Harry, a one-man performance. The library was absolutely packed. You could not get another person in there. It was a fabulous performance. Joyce Virtue, who is chairman of the Cultural Commission, and the other members were terrific. The audience participation was great. The exchange after the play, the question and answer period, was extremely lively. Harry Truman, of course, is a bigger-than-life figure, although the there was no politicizing as far as the current events are concerned. It was a moment in history that was terrific and so extremely well presented. So my hats are off to all of the participants, the people that made it work. And it's another example of what the city does to bring culture to our residents. And by the way, the presentation was free. There was no charge at all. And it was just a simply glorious evening. So congratulations, Cultural Commission.
Thank you, Ted. Yes, their programming has just been remarkable, and for all those of you who are unfamiliar with our cultural events, they are all free of charge. And so if you check on our website, you'll be more aware of what's going to be presented and how you can participate. So thank
Madam
you
Mayor?
again. Yes.
If I could just kind of follow up on Ted's comment and your comment, we do have two events coming up over the next couple of months. One will be the home tour, or actually the art walk, which is around the homes of Rancho Mirage. We've got 6 homes already committed and a couple of other artists who will be bringing their art out to the public. And then also we are planning a film tour of Salton Sea. And so this is going to be limited for the number of attendees, but we're going to go out to the Salton Sea and actually view the sea with cameras and see what the sea brings back to us. So should really be a fun event, and you can contact the library to get reservations for that. They'll be getting in a bus, about 50 people, and going on the tour of the Salton Sea. So a little bit different from the standpoint of the Cultural Commission, but this is kind of an area of culture that we're using for film and that sort of thing.
Right. And that is a very exciting event that is going to take place out at the Salton Sea. And for all you photography buffs that have never been to the Salton Sea, this is a good opportunity to really share it with a number of other people with their cameras, and a fun day will be, I'm sure, had by all. So you're all welcome to call the library and see if you can participate. Okay, I think that's about it for the council comments. We'll move on to the minutes. So if there are no additions or corrections to the minutes, which is the regular meeting of February 5, 2015, may I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please vote. Okay, motion passes 5-0. Thank you all. And now moving on to our consent calendar, which will be taken care of by Randy Binder.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. I'd like to pull item number 1 for a separate presentation from Gloria. The last 2 items on your consent calendar, number 2 is contracts, and number 3 are demands, and we are here to answer questions on either of those 2.
Move approval, except for item number 1.
Right, okay.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Please vote, except for number 1. Okay, motion passes 5-0. Okay, thank you. And I believe Gloria Griego.
Yes, our contract specialist will present 2 requests for funding. 2 separate motions are being requested.
Mayor, City Council, the first funding request is from Las Palmitas Elementary School. They are based in Thermal, California, and they are requesting a donation to send 6 girls to Space Camp in Huntsville, Alabama. The Space Camp is for 5 days, and it consists of mock missions and activities that focus on mathematics. The donation would pay for the airline and tuition costs. The cost for one person is $1,664, and the goal is to raise $10,000. As of today, they've raised $4,336. The city manager requested that this item be placed on the agenda for consideration, and the SAF subcommittee is recommending a donation of $2,000.
Thank you, Gloria. Any questions from council members?
The only comment I'd make is the last time, or I guess we've maybe participated a couple of times, but the last time I distinctly recall some of the letters that we got back from the children who went on that special event at that time were about as heartwarming as any I have ever seen. And it shows that given an opportunity, usually meaning given enough money to do it, not only the children but the community fare so well from the kind of generosity that they hope to receive again from us.
Thank you. Yes, those letters are certainly very heartwarming.
Madam Mayor, we do have a representative here from the organization. Maybe we could have a couple of words from her.
Okay. Why don't you come down and join us and fill us in? Wow, this is like show and tell.
Good afternoon, Mayor and all the council members. This is probably my third time to Rancho Mirage.
Can you please state your name? And
My name is Terry Wood, and I'm a teacher at Las Palmitas Elementary.
okay, Terry, would you, maybe you could put your
Is this better?
wind turbine on. Maybe you'll put it on the center console here, so we can all see.
So in the last 10 years, 2 of the times Rancho Mirage has came to our rescue as far as helping us send kids to environmental camp at Catalina. And without your partnership, it would have not been possible. So I thank you so much for that. And last time, a few years back, I was here telling you a lot of the kids that went to those camps are now in college. So that's a wonderful thing within itself. I brought a turbine today just to show you. It's a young lady that's going to be in a competition tomorrow, Kidwin, that she's in at Desert Hot Springs. And last year when she was a 5th grader, it took her about, I would say about 2 weeks after school to build something like this. It took 2 hours the other day. And she's a 6th grader. She's one of the girls that we want to, sponsor for the camp. And what's so neat about it is they learn about wind energy, which is important in our valley, but also about gear ratios and pitch of the blade, and just how generators work. And why I wanted to do like space camp for the kids this year is because these particular girls want to be engineers and scientists, and they love math and science, and I can only offer them so much at school. And I think a mock space mission and building rockets, especially since they need that kind of enrichment, would be a blast for their last year at elementary school. So I appreciate you guys through the years, and ladies, Mayor, and I'm hoping that you will give this consideration for this project this year for us also.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Well, I did make one observation, Madam Mayor, that if we gave them, instead of $2,000, we gave them $2,664, then all they would need would be, how much is the total?
Well, we're a little opposite. Anything you give us, we are appreciative of.
No, I know, but I'm trying to see how much we're leaving you with.
If you sponsored one kid, we'd be so grateful. It's about $1,600. That's like the tuition.
$10,000.
We're currently at about in the $4,000 range. So, and we're going to do some candy sales next week and some other things. So, just knocking on a lot of doors and emailing right now. So.
Well, my thought was that if we gave them $2,664, they would only have another $1,000 or $2,000 even, whatever that number is, to reach their goal, which might make it easier to sell if it's kind of a limited, clean number. I'm just thinking.
Well, anything you can do for us, the school would appreciate.
When do you have to have the money raised by?
Well, our first tuition payment, which was half of it, we sent in yesterday, but the main thing is getting the plane tickets before they don't have any more seats, because Alabama isn't one of those places everybody goes to. So we want to purchase the tickets later next week for the airline, and then our other payment isn't due till March the 20th. But we have time to generate that other part of the money. We're just interested in making sure we have the airline tickets for the students to go.
Okay. So you're
Dana, if you wanted to increase it One is 1664. If you wanted to send 2 children, it would be $3,328.
That's true. That's excellent math. And
thank you.
They said you couldn't even add.
No,
and you can.
And I looked for your acknowledgement on that, but the number
I
is.
I think that's a great idea if that's what you're suggesting.
That would be my suggestion.
I was hoping you would one up me.
Thank you.
Okay, Ted, why don't you make the motion, and we can have Dana second it.
All right, I'll make a motion to consider a funding request in the amount of $3,328 for the Las Palmitas Elementary School and a budget adjustment accordingly.
Second.
Okay. All right.
Oh my God,
we have
thank you.
a motion and a second. Will everybody please vote?
Well, I think Richard.
Oh, Richard, you have
That's okay.
you want to continue with?
That's okay. Let's go.
Oh, jump in. That's okay.
No, I think the only thing I would like to have you keep in mind that if you get to the point where you have to leave somebody at home and you haven't raised enough money, come back to us, okay?
Okay. Oh my God.
Okay.
We strongly believe that what helps you in thermal with children helps all of us.
Yes.
No doubt about it. All right, so please cast your vote. And the motion carries 5-0. Thank you so much for coming. And
Thank you so much. You always move me. You guys are so wonderful to our kids.
thank you. Well, we're just thrilled that your girls are motivated and we see such beautiful things in their future.
And we also are thrilled that your students have such dedicated teachers, if you're an example of them.
And we can
Yes.
see your appreciation to what we just did, too. So thank you.
Could I just add something? I think this is so wonderful that we're getting more women in the engineering field. There's been a lack of women engineers, and we're seeing more and more women getting into the engineering field, and it's a very competitive field. And when we see talented children at this age doing stuff like that, I just see a real promise in the engineering field to bring in talented people. So what you're doing is a great idea.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay.
Don't forget your windmill.
Boy, if our grandmothers could see what girls are doing nowadays, how proud they would all be. Okay, moving on now to
There's a second part of this.
the second half of her presentation for another vote.
And Mayor, I wanted to mention that there is a check for $2,000 that is ready for Terrywood, and that was as a result of Mayor Pro Tem Dana Hobart.
Very nice. Thank you. All right.
The second request is from Rancho Mirage High School, and they submitted a letter requesting a donation for seating for its tennis courts. The goal is to raise $10,000 for seating cabanas on the courts prior to the summer months. There are currently no shades or benches. The cabanas would alleviate the summer weather conditions. Each cabana is $2,190. The recommendation is for $2,500.
Madam Mayor, could I make a comment on this? Last night, when we were at the high school, Randy and I had an opportunity to talk to the athletic director, and he pointed out that this request is really something that is unusual for the district because the Palm Springs School District has really taken the position that they have no shade structures out there for any of the high schools. And obviously they're spending money in other areas. So anything that we could do for them to have a shade structure on the tennis courts this time of the year as it really gets warm, he says the kids have no place to go to get out from out of the sun. And they would really be grateful to us if we could provide for one of these shade structures. They requested, I think, 6, or that's what they need. But given the current situation at the high school, I think at least one would be appropriate.
Okay, any other comments?
Is one sufficient? It only seats, what, six kids?
Well,
And they're asking for six cabanas.
6 is requested.
6 is requested.
And they're $2,190 each.
Are these cabanas for the tennis players?
Yes.
Yes.
Not the fans?
No, these are for the players after they finish playing to get off the court and into some shady area. There's nothing out there right now.
So we're suggesting one cabana on one side, and maybe sometime
add to them or something like that.
And indeed, it is hot there. Mr. Pro Tem, you might check my math on this, but I would suggest that there be 2 shade structures. Each one is $2,190. I would suggest a donation of $4,380. You might double check my math to verify that that's
Why don't we just
twice
round
the
it
amount
off
of
so
the-
we don't have to verify your adding?
Well, I just thought that somebody would check that. My recommendation is that we fund 2 shade structures for the tennis program, which is extremely active out there, and I think would be a credit to the high school and the city.
I agree with you.
You know, in addition to this, we have done so much with the high school, and they are really appreciative. I mean, they are getting so much support from our city. There's obviously ongoing support for the other high schools, but we really have a special relationship, I think, with our high school, and it benefits all the kids and benefits all of us.
I think we would all agree with that.
I
So
agree.
your recommendation, Ted, is to fund $4,380.
Yes, $4,380, which would be for the purchase of 2 shade structures.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please vote.
Good.
Motion carries 5-0. Thank you so much.
Ted, if that's not the right amount, will you put up the difference?
Of course he will. He don't even have to ask him. He'll do it. What kind of guy do you think Ted is?
Let me get my calculator here.
Would Ted sit idly by when somebody was in need, financial need? No way.
Okay. Well, I think that was a nice move, and we are pleased to have everyone's participation in the positive side. Okay, moving forward now to item number 2. Number 4. Number 4. Okay.
So number 4, Madam Mayor, will be presented by Joseph Carpenter, our Economic Development Analyst. Joseph?
Thank you, Randy. Council members, before you today is a request to transfer property and a ground lease from the former Rancho Mirage Redevelopment Agency to the City of Rancho Mirage. On or about September 1st, 2003, the former RDA and the Greater Palm Springs Convention and Visitors Bureau entered into a ground lease providing for the former RDA to lease to the CVB approximately 1.26 acres of real property located at 70100 Highway 111. With the dissolution of redevelopment agencies, redevelopment successor agencies have been charged with winding down the affairs of the former RDA. As a part of those duties, the successor agency was required to prepare a long-range property management plan that addressed the disposition and use of the real properties of the former RDA. In accordance with the adopted and approved long-range property management plan, the property is to be transferred to the city to fulfill the terms of the ground lease. Such a transfer would be accomplished by approving the 2 joint resolutions included as attachments to your staff report, which would permit the city manager, acting in his capacity for the successor agency and the city, to execute the grant deed and assignment and assumption agreement. If the proposed joint resolutions are approved today, similar resolutions will be presented to the Oversight Board next week for consideration and approval prior to remitting the property transfer and ground lease transfer requests to DOF for final approval. That concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from City Council?
I do have a question. Those properties are what? Do you want to say what's on those properties? What building?
The property that's being presented today is the CVB offices. So the former RDA owns the land. They did a ground lease with CVB to build their office complex. And so this request is to transfer that land to the city, and then after that, we would transfer the ground lease to the city, so the city can fulfill the ground lease. And the other property that the city has is a vacant parcel of land next to Mimi's Cafe.
That's one in the front.
Correct.
The front lot was never developed, right?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. And how long is it for? How long would that lease run, or is there a timetable?
53 years or something like that.
55,
Correct.
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You answered it. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah. What is the, what are the obligations that are being referred to on page 4-3? It says, once title of the property transfers, the city would be in position to assume the obligations under the ground lease. What all is included in that?
There aren't really any obligations. It's just to maintain the lease. The only obligation would come at the end of the lease when we would take over the building. So in August 2058, when the lease expires, the city would have to accept that building back.
And when the city, Steve, maybe you could answer this question, when at the end of the 53 years and the property reverts, to whom does it revert? The city of Rancho Mirage? And if so, did it start off as our property, or did it start off as redevelopment agency property?
Started off as redevelopment agency property. So the idea is we're gonna transfer title to, well, we don't have very many, of the property over to the city, and then we step into the shoes of the redevelopment agency, so we're gonna become their landlord. So at the end of the lease, it reverts back to the city.
And at that time,
They own the building, though.
Huh?
They own the building, the CVB.
CVB owns the building. Did we sell them that? No, they built it.
They built it.
Yeah, I remember now. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
Good.
Okay. Well, could somebody make a motion regarding this item?
I'd move we transfer the, strike that, I'd move that the City Council acting for the City of Rancho Mirage and in its capacity as the successor agency board adopt a joint resolution approving execution of an assignment and assumption agreement for transfer of the ground lease by and between the former Rancho Mirage Redevelopment Agency and the Palm Springs Desert Resorts Convention and Visitors Authority, now known as the Greater Palm Springs Convention and Visitors Bureau, to the City of Rancho Mirage.
Okay, and I will second that, so please vote.
Dana, did you consolidate A and B in that one motion?
Yes.
I thought I started there, but maybe I didn't.
You started on A and then kind of went to B in the middle.
Well, the idea would be that we do both. Let me
Yeah.
just restate it to make sure that we've got it. The other side of that would be that the city, again acting for the City of Rancho Mirage in its capacity as a successor agency board, adopt a joint resolution approving and authorizing transfer of property located at 70-100 Highway 111 Rancho Mirage to the City of Rancho Mirage.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. So once again, I will second it, and please vote again, just to make sure. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you all. And I think we are about finished, and Steve Q will, or Quintanilla, will let us know about our closed session.
I will, Madam Mayor. So the City Council and the Housing Authority Board will be recessing in closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9 to discuss the case known as Veronica Juarez versus the City of Rancho Mirage. Council will also discuss two potential litigation cases. Council will also consider the public employee performance evaluations for both the city manager and city clerk pursuant to Government Code Section 54957B1. And finally, the City Council will be conferring with its labor negotiator, me, regarding the city manager and city clerk.
Thank you so much. So with that being said, this has been a wonderful day. And once again, it's a pleasure having all of our proclamations and all of our people honored. So we will see you again on March 10th. The meeting, which would normally be scheduled on March 5, has been changed to March 10th. So please put that on your calendar, and we hope to see you then. Thanks so much. Meeting adjourned.